Hello, my beautiful, confident, successful business owners. How are you this morning? Welcome to our Tuesday morning Business Growth Insights. Lovely to have you joining us. If you are joining me live, say hi. Pop a comment in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching the replay, just pop hashtag replay so I can come back and say hi then as well, because I love to interact. Now, as you all know, or if you're new to the group, we have people, every Tuesday morning I come live into the group, give you some really valuable training and some tools that you can take away straight away to implement into your business. So today's topic, again, if you're saying hi, let me know. Now, here's the thing. I am on a little tool called StreamYard. So I can't see who this is at the moment. All right. However, if you go, there's a link above where if you click on the link to give StreamYard permission to see your name, it will come up like this. Hello, beautiful Susie Manley. How are you this morning? Lovely to see you. And I want to say hello to whoever this is, but I don't know who you are yet. So hello and welcome. All right. Okay, so today's topic. Now, hang on. What am I trying to do? I'm getting used to this new system. So today's topic is all about how to lift yourself out of a business funk, right? Now, I'm going to get straight into it today. And I chose this topic because I don't know about you, right? But when I tend to find that my moods shift with the seasons, right? And I know I'm talking about the weather. I'm not going to talk about the weather all day today, but this is a fact for me. And I've particularly noticed this over the last 10 years or so, that my moods shift with the seasons. And with those moods come the actions or the non-actions or the things that that I do and don't do, and that it essentially affects my business as well. Okay, so tell me if anyone else kind of has those mood shifts with the seasons. For me, I love the sunny weather, like I'm a beach babe, so I love the spring, summer season. But during winter, I find a lot that my mood, I'm really down, and I let it affect what happens in my business. And what I've noticed is, particularly since I've been in business, is if that I allow that to happen, is that I go into a business funk, right? Now, this doesn't just happen it just doesn't happen with just the weather, right? There's other ways and times that this happens, because we all know that business is an up and down journey. It's not a one and done, I'm going from starting to fabulous. We all go through ups and downs in business. So this is why I wanted to talk about this topic in particular. Okay. And so, again, just let me do all the things that I need to do in the background. Now, a lot of you may have seen this already. This is something that I call the fear to fierce mindset journey that we all go on in business. And I'm not going to go deep into it today. I'm just going to go really briefly through it to help you understand. All right. So these are the different levels that we can be in business in mindset wise. And what happens is, again, often our mindset will translate into what's actually happening or not happening in our business. So first of all, fear. We can have fear in all different aspects of business, right? There's fear of failure, fear of success. We can have this anxiety because we're just not sure whether we're in the right place. We can have this need where we need finances, we need clients, etc., etc. There is a bunch of different ways that we might feel fearful in business. There's also the feeling of feeling a little bit insecure, right? This is where that imposter syndrome or that fraud feeling sneaks in, because we see other people out there doing their thing and they look successful, and we just think, well, they're doing it, why can't I? I'm not going to be as good as them. Not true. The place of ownership is where we're feeling good about ourselves, right? We're feeling good about our direction, but we're really starting to take that ownership, and we're recognizing maybe that we've had those feelings of fear and insecurity. And now it's like, okay, so I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna work on my mindset to be able to be a success in business, which then leads us to successful, right? Happy with progress, happy with what's happening, happy generally in our mindset. And again, which leads us to feeling fierce. This is where we're strong in our purpose. We know what we're doing. We know our business. We know that we're working with the right people, etc., etc. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there because I have gone through this many times before. But that is the general fear to fierce mindset journey. And as I said, this also often translates into our business journey. So what is or is not happening in our business. So this is why I want to take you through 7 points today, 7 points of how to bring yourself out of a business funk. And the first one is remembering to tap back into your why. So why did you start this business in the first place? So think, why did you start your business? And I'm talking about this is your personal why. Right, so did you start your business because you needed to create an income for yourself? Did you start it because you came across a wonderful product that you just had to share with people? Did you start it because you've always had a dream to run a business, right? Why have you started this business personally? Did you do it to support your children or your family? Whatever it is, what was your personal why? And also, this is a big one. Be brave enough to dig deep and ask yourself why you might actually be struggling right now. Why are you actually in that funk, right? Is it, and again, let's not always talk about the weather, but is it the weather? Is it something specific that you have or haven't been doing in your business? Is it because you are confused of where you might be at a business? Why do you think you might be struggling right now? Not an easy thing to look into, but it is a brave step and it is a very important step. And also then go to, why do you want to keep going? Why do you want to keep going in business? This is where you can go back to those original dreams and those goals. Right? So you're going back to why you started your business. What was your ultimate dream that you wanted to achieve? What's the goal that you've set yourself that you want to achieve by the end of the year? And why do you want to keep going to achieve that goal? So important. Okay, so this is tapping back into your personal why. Now we're going to take it to number 2, is tapping back into the who. So this is who you help, okay? So this is, who are your ideal clients, or who do you want to be your ideal clients? Now, what this is doing is, number 1 is focusing on yourself, but now we want to take the focus off of you, off of just you, okay? Because sometimes what happens is when we are in that funk, we can internalize a lot of stuff and it's focusing on us and it's like a downward spiral. So we want to take the focus off us alone and put it back on your clients. So those people that you help. So who are your ideal clients? How do you help them? What amazing, incredible work are you doing that's helping them solve their problems? Number 3, do something that you're good at, right? When we're in a funk, we often, oh my God, I'm so guilty of this. We often procrastinate. And the reason that we get into this procrastination mode is because for whatever reason, we're on that downward spiral maybe, and we lose motivation. And so this is where we need to work to get that motivation back by starting with something that we know that we're good at. And what this does is it reignites your flame. And I like to phrase it, this is the way I phrase it for myself. Hey, Julie, is it you light the fire up under your bum. You light a fire up under your bum again. Because it's like, oh my God, you're reminding yourself that you're good at something again. Right? So for me, I like to go live. Look, I love to talk. I love to present. It's what I love to do. So often, reignite my own flame, I will go live on my profile and I will share about my experience, or I will document my experience and share it somehow. It doesn't have to be alive, right? Or I'm very much a creator, so I will sit down and look at creating something new. Now for you, you might be good at organization. So choose something in your business that you know needs organizing and do that for yourself. Doing lives with you do amazing lives, Julie. And when you're doing this, is it really does give you an immediate sense of achievement, right? So your thoughts are going to change straight away because you've accomplished something fantastic, right? Now, this has happened to me many a time, right? Sometimes when I'm in a funk, ironically, I will go and book sales calls. I will make a real effort to go and book more sales calls, right? Now, that might be because I need more clients, more income, et cetera, but it's also something that I love to do is sales calls, right? And so before I go into those calls, I'm really managing my energy, making sure that I'm going in with a positive mindset. And what I end up doing is more often than not signing a new client. And what this does is reminds me that I know my stuff, because that doubt has started to set in. It's like, oh, maybe I don't really know what I'm doing that much, but doing a sales call actually reminds me that I do know my stuff, right? And even sometimes when that sale doesn't get made, that's okay. It still reminds me. It's that immediate sense of achievement. And going a bit deeper into that, focus on your accomplishments, right? Again, this is something I don't think that we personally do in business enough at all, is focus on our accomplishments or focus on what we do really well on our achievements. And so you might even be in a funk in the first place because you've been focusing on the negative. You've been focusing on what's not happening rather than what is happening or what has been happening. And what this does is, instead of focusing on the negative, this brings you back to the positive. It is so important. This is mindset 101, right? We want to look at the positive because let's be honest, life isn't always positive. Shit happens, right? But we need to bring it back to the positives to be able to shift that mindset. So focus on the accomplishments, the incredible things that you're achieving. Celebrate yourself. Again, something we don't do often enough is celebrate ourselves. So who have you helped? How have you helped them? Go back and look at the wonderful reviews that you have received from clients. I love to do this. I love to go back and look at my reviews, especially when I'm not feeling so good about myself, right? As I said, it happens to all of us. I go back and read, and again, what do you think that does? It reminds me, I know my stuff. And it'll remind you too that you're good at what you do. Celebrate yourself. Look at what you've learned. So you might want to look back to where you were this time last year. How far have you come? All these types of things, they're little mindset shifts. They're little things that are going to help you shift your mindset. And don't just think about them. Write them down. You would have heard me say a lot, write things down, right? And you can journal it, but you can even take it a step further, make it visible, right? Write a list, make it visible. You can even display it somewhere prominent as a reminder, specifically while you are working to bring yourself out of that funk, to shift your mindset, okay? So journal it or write them down, make it visible, stick it somewhere prominent. Number 5, this is an interesting one, right? Get an outside perspective. Now, I've said this before and I'm going to continue to say it again. Being a sole business owner does not mean that you have to do it all by yourself, right? It's often that third-party perspective that is exactly what we need. So I would suggest that if you don't have one already, connect with an accountability partner. I personally believe that everybody needs an accountability partner. And something that I do in the Heart and Soul Business Academy, one of the first things I say to my girls is, if you don't have one already, get one. Team up with someone, accountability partner, right? If you want that accountability person holding you accountable, you might want to hire a coach like me or someone else, right? We can hold you accountable too. And with this outside perspective, right, sometimes because these people aren't in it, right, we're in it. We're in it, in the funk. We're in the downward spiral or that funky mindset. But sometimes someone outside can immediately see what the problem is because they're not emotionally invested or connected like we are. So they might just give you a gentle pep talk, right, or a gentle nudge. Or sometimes some of us need it, I've needed it, is a bit of more of a shove to get out of that funky mindset, right? I have a beautiful dear friend who pops in quite often called Lucia. I call her, she is my accountability partner. We are each other's accountability partners. And sometimes we get quite real with each other and it's like, sister, just get over it, right? You know what you need to do, just go and do it. Because she can see that I'm allowing myself to be in that negative space, right? And vice versa, it goes both ways. Now, let's be honest, right? Sometimes this is one of the hardest things to hear. However, it is also one of the best things that you can hear. And I know for me, when Lucia and other people and coaches that I've worked with have said, come on, Ali, you know what you need to do. And, and I'll go away. And sometimes we can get offended. We can allow ourselves to get offended. But what I've learned to do is go away and think about it and listen to what that person is saying. And most often, I will come back and go, you know what, she's right or he's right. They're right. I just need to do this. I just need to go and do that. Right. And so that little pep talk that I've been given by my accountability partner or a coach has really, really worked. And it's like, okay, it helps you switch back on. My phone keeps making noises at me. I don't know. I just keep deciding to talk to me. But it helps you switch back on into business mode. And that's really important. Number 6 is creating a mantra for yourself, right? Now, I have a couple of mantras, and my first one is, I've got this, and I'm doing whatever it takes to be successful. I'll say that again, and you feel free to use this. You can copy it, I don't mind. I've got this, and I'm doing whatever it takes to be successful. Now, this is a great reminder of my why, right? Now, that doesn't necessarily have my why in there. Well, part of my why is because I want to be a successful business owner, right? So, but it is a great reminder of your why and your who. I'll get it out in a minute. And what you also, I would suggest here, just like, with that list of accomplishments, also display your mantra in prominent places, right? Yes, is an affirmation? Absolutely. Of course it is. But don't just write it down, display it somewhere prominent where you can see it throughout the day and repeat it to yourself. The more you do this, and you can also write it down while you journal, the more you do this, the more it sinks in up here and the more you believe it. Now, also, I said I had a couple of mantras, so make them specific to you and your business. So again, that first mantra I said is, I've got this and I am doing whatever it takes to be successful. But there's another mantra that I have that I say is, I love helping my clients to build their own successful businesses with confidence. Okay, it's a very brief mantra, but it takes, again, the focus solely off me, and it reminds me of my why, my who I help, right? So, but it is specific to my business. I love helping my clients to build their own successful businesses with confidence. So those are the two mantras that I love to repeat to myself on a daily basis. I've got more, but we don't have time this morning. But they're my two main ones, right? So what are yours? What can you, and I'm going to challenge you after this training, or even now, grab a piece of paper. What is a mantra that you can use for yourself? And display it. Number 7 is take charge and take action. Now, it is one thing to take charge of our thoughts, right? But the action is what really counts in business. Now, you beautiful people know that I teach on mindset, motivation, and marketing. We're talking about mindset and motivation today, but then it's the action, the marketing side, the things that you need to do in business, right? You need to get out there and do things. You can't sit back and wait for that mindset to change. All the things I've spoken about today are things that are taking action. So take charge of your mindset, take charge of your motivation, and do. This could be the hardest part, right? Because you may have lost that motivation, and it can be a downward spiral if we let it. We can, someone can say something, our mindset changes, we get down on ourselves, and then we internalize, and then we lose the motivation, and then we lose more business, and then we lose more motivation, and we're beating ourselves like it's a downward spiral, but we don't want to get stuck in it. So doing everything that I've spoken about today and then taking the action to bring yourself out of it, right? Action in business, it can be the hardest part, but it is 100% the most important part. So begin with tasks that you enjoy. We've mentioned it already, right? What are some things that you're good at, and also some things that you enjoy? So you've started with that one thing, but now add some more and make a to-do list. I love a good to-do list, right? Now, it doesn't have to be a mile long, and actually, I would suggest that it's not a mile long, because if you're in the process of shifting your mindset, if you make it too overwhelming, it's going to give you the opposite result. So you really want to make a reasonably, short to-do list, whatever's not overwhelming for you, and tick them off one by one. Take those actions to tick them off. And go for it. Action that list. Action that list, because here's the reality. No action equals no results. Action equals results. If you do take lots of action, you will get good results. So encourage you all, go for it. Action your list. Do whatever it takes. Do what you need to do, right? And again, if you need that accountability partner, I might be that person, right? If you're looking for that further support, I'm here to help you. You beautiful people, I'm a business empowerment coach. I want to offer you a free 30-minute business booster call where we can talk about where you're at a business, and talk about what some things that you can do to bring yourself out of that business funk. Whether it's it's a mindset type of thing, or whether it is something that you're doing or that you're not doing in your business. Feel free to book in. You can scan that QR code, and the link is going up. The link's also scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now. I would love to have the opportunity to speak to you amazing people in the group. So that's what I've got for you today. I love, you beautiful people know that I love coming to do these trainings on a Tuesday morning. You're welcome, Susie Bear. I haven't been looking at the comments. Sometimes with these things, we need octopus arms. I love that. That's you're saying, Susie, but it's so true. We need octopus arms sometimes. But I want to encourage you, if you are in a funk right now, you need someone to talk to, I'm here for you. Feel free to book in that business booster call. Let's have a chat. All right, my beautiful people, I will see you again in the group for another training next Tuesday morning for Business Growth Insights. Have a fantabulous day and keep smiling. All right. Bye.